Hey you guys, welcome back to Alisha Nicole TV, where you'll find real conversations and actionable advice on how to live your life and create your business on purpose. So today I wanted to talk about something that I know everyone has experienced before, and that is comparison. So what stops most creatives from really pursuing their purpose is because they continuously compare their journey to someone else's. And trust me, I've definitely been there before as well. When the whole Periscope phase, went crazy and went wild, and everyone was on Periscope sharing all of their actionable tips and advice, it definitely sparked a lot of comparison within me as well. So instead of me taking in all of this advice and, finding different ways that I could relate it back to my brand or actually implement it into my brand, I would look at these amazing creatives and I eventually started to kind of question my own journey. Why aren't, people liking me the way they like them? Or even, why am I not in that position yet in my own business? And it really began to mess with my mind a lot, to the point where I was even wondering, am I really on the right path? Or I was asking myself, is this what I'm supposed to do? So today I want to share just a few tips for you of how to kind of get through that comparison phase, because that's all it is. It's a phase. And just let you know that you do not have to get stuck in that moment. So the first thing you need to do is you need to cut out those distractions. So I just shared how Periscope really became a distraction to me and how I was literally paying more attention to someone else's journey than my own. And the first thing I did when I realized, where this comparison was stemming from is I deleted the app. I completely deleted the app. I also stopped reading as many blogs as I was usually doing. I quit getting on as many webinars and things like that because I needed to make space within my own mind to focus on my own journey. And there was no way that I could do that if I was consistently consuming information from creatives that sparked that comparison. And it wasn't their fault, and I'm all for people sharing their gifts online because clearly I'm doing it now. But as the consumer, when it gets to a point where you are no longer taking in that information in a positive way, or if it's just resulting in some type of comparison, then you need to cut out those distractions. So for however long you need to kind of get back into your good mental space, do that, and no one's going to knock you for it. The next thing you need to realize is that God made you different for a reason. So each of us has a different story, we have a different purpose, we have a different experience. Even if we're all in the same industry, you have to realize that God made you different for a reason, and that it's really like a disrespect to Him if you are spending the majority of your time trying to be someone that you were never, literally never created to be. So you have to realize that the things that make you quirky or the things that make you different aren't a bad thing, and that you shouldn't compare those differences to someone else, because you know what? That person is fulfilling their purpose. Meanwhile, you're sitting back trying to be someone that God never intended you to be. So the second thing you need to do is just realize that you are you for a reason, and that God has made you this way for a greater purpose. Even if you haven't fully figured that part out yet, just knowing that He made you in His own sight should be, more than enough for you to kind of focus on your own self and not someone else's journey. The third thing you should know is people online, especially online, are only going to show you what they want you to see. So I'm pretty sure we've all scrolled through these perfect Instagram feeds that are bright and white and just beautiful, beautiful photos. But what they're not showing you is, maybe their sink full of dirty dishes, or their kids crying and screaming in the background, or they're not letting you know of, how long they stayed up the night before to perfect, this blog post or perfect this launch that they're putting out. So don't get so caught up in what you see on the surface, because I guarantee you, not everyone is showing you every aspect of their life. So you're only seeing what they are wanting you to see. So don't compare yourself to someone else's perfect. That's their perfect. That's what they're wanting to put out and display to the world. But you have no clue what's going on behind the scenes. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that we compare ourselves to, if we could really see what's going on, outside of the camera or behind the computer, we wouldn't want that part of their lives. I'm sure the struggle is real. So definitely don't compare yourself just to what you're seeing online, because you're not getting the full story. So make sure you keep that in mind as well. The fourth thing that you can do is to simply just practice gratitude. So every single morning I journal, I read my Bible, I pray, I read my devotional, and I also journal. And I make a habit of just writing out maybe 3 or 4 things that I'm just genuinely grateful for. So by just practicing a little bit of gratitude helps you to appreciate where you are. It helps you to appreciate the things that you have accomplished and not so much the things that you have yet to reach. So if you're spending so much time focusing on someone else's journey, then you're going to just begin to forget all of the things that you have done. So what are the wins that you've experienced? What good moments have you had? What amazing people do you have in your life? Remember to keep those things in the forefront of your mind instead of comparing what you don't have to someone else who already has it. So definitely practicing gratitude is going to help you to get through that comparison phase. And the last thing to remember is that the time you spend looking at someone else's journey is time you could have been spending in your own brand or making your own things happen. So they're not paying you any attention, and I know it sounds harsh, but they're not. They're busy growing their brand. They're busy promoting themselves and putting them out there. Meanwhile, you're so busy following their journey that you're probably missing out on some really good opportunities to take your brand or even your personal life to the next level. So knowing that you're wasting time in your own brand, you're never going to be able to play catch up with someone else that you're comparing yourself to. So that good time that you're spending scrolling through social media, asking yourself, oh my gosh, why am I not like her? You could be putting that same energy back into your brand and getting to where God wants you to be. So definitely keep that in mind, because you don't want to waste time. As we all know, 2016 went by super fast, and I don't want you to spend all of 2017 wasting your time comparing yourself to someone that you were never meant to be. So after you've gone through this, and if you're still feeling like you have yet to kind of carve out your own spot in your industry, and you're still wondering what that person has that you probably don't have, you need to know, again, we're going back to what makes you different. So I always talk about how your differences and your unique story and your experiences are the best way to help you stand out in your industry. So even if the person, you're comparing yourself to is doing the exact same thing that you're doing, they're not doing it like you. They don't have the same story as you. They don't have the same experiences as you. So after you've tried to put that comparison aside, if you're still wondering how it is you're going to stand out or make yourself be seen, or even what that person has that you don't have, it's going to be they had the guts to share their unique story. They had the guts to use their experiences to better help their audience. So keep that in mind. If you're still feeling like, Alisha, I have no clue what's going to make me different, just know everything that you've experienced in your industry, in your personal life, is just a setup to help you to take your brand to the next level and to get people to really trust you. So remember that before you begin to, play the comparison game, before you begin to fear that you'll never be different from the person you've been comparing yourself to. Girl, you were created different for a reason. Everything that you've gone through, the good and the bad, happened for a reason. So please use that to your advantage, especially if you're trying to figure out how to stand out in your industry. Alright, you guys, so if you have any questions, feel free to hop over into my Facebook group. I'm going to leave the notes down in the little comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because I don't want you to miss out on any of the other upcoming videos I have. Talk to you later.